What UK police say they're doing to help students after a string of sexual assaults in neighborhoods near the campus.
A Southern Kentucky community says goodbye to a 3-year-old little girl on the same day that her mother goes before a judge in answering to charges that she caused her death.
A family talks to us about how a Kentucky law designed to keep people in rehab helps save their loved one's life.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. It has caused alarm in neighborhoods around UK's campus. Lexington police say sexual assaults in that area could be connected.
And tonight, the University of Kentucky says it's taking extra steps to protect students. Here's another look at the sketch Lexington police released of the suspect in the assaults. Today, UK police said that they're now enhancing security on the edge of campus. Victor Puente has our top story at 6.
Lexington police say a sexual assault from August may be connected to other unsolved assaults. Because it happened just a few blocks from UK's campus, students tell me they want more of a heads up when something like this happens so close to the university. The attempted sexual assault happened August 26th, just after midnight. Lexington police say this man attacked a woman walking near Grosvenor and Arlington Avenues. He was chased off by 2 other men who saw the attack. Last night, they said he could be behind several other sexual assaults near the University of Kentucky during the last several years. This morning, UK police released a statement in response to rumors on social media of a serial rapist on campus, rumors they say are false.
You know, things can get twisted very quickly, and things go viral very quickly. And a lot of times that information is not the correct information. And that's a perfect example of what we feel like has happened in this case.
The university has a safety alert system, but Monroe says the circumstances of this case didn't warrant its use.
This incident occurred 2.5 weeks ago. The sketch was released last night. So that wasn't, the information we received does not pose an immediate threat to campus at this time.
Lexington police tell us they did ask the university to consider sharing the information with their students. Some of those students told us if it hadn't been for social media, they wouldn't have known the attack happened.
The big campus like this and in a city like Lexington, you know, you kind of have to have a grasp on that type of things.
More of like a alert to be alert versus like something's actually happening, maybe just so we didn't feel blindsided that something was going on.
Monroe says they are stepping up security near the borders of the university, including adding to the almost 3,000 cameras they have in place. Lexington police say they're still looking for the 2 witnesses who came to that woman's aid back in August. They believe both of those men could help them with the investigation. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Chief Monroe wanted to remind students that the university does offer escorts on campus and rides late at night through their Wild Cab service. Police in Louisville are investigating 2 sexual assaults near the University of Louisville campus. Police say on Monday a woman was assaulted at gunpoint before her car was stolen. The following day, police say the second victim was forced into that car at gunpoint and assaulted before being told to run away. Police say the stolen car was later set on fire and abandoned. They have not made any arrests.
Just hours before her child was laid to rest, a Russell County mother appeared in court accused of killing her. Police charged Jessica Warner with murder following the crash that killed 3-year-old Chloe Fortenberry last weekend. Police say Warner used meth before the crash. As Phil Pendleton tells us, she became emotional during the hearing.
Jessica Warner did not say much Thursday morning as she appeared on video from the Russell County Jail. She acknowledged the facts in an affidavit. But when the judge read the warrant, Warner retreated to the back of the room and stood against a side wall. She appeared to be sobbing. Moments later, the judge entered a not guilty plea and set another court hearing for late September. Police say Warner's actions in driving under the influence of methamphetamines caused the little girl's death.
She likes to dance, sing.
We spoke with Chloe's father on Tuesday outside the funeral home where on Thursday, just hours after the mother's arraignment, funeral services were held for the toddler. What did she mean to you?
Everything.
Many of the crash details remain under investigation, but police say Warner was driving a Honda Civic when she ran through the intersection into the path of a Dodge Ram. Warner and her daughter were taken to the hospital, and Chloe died Sunday.
It was either because she's under the influence of something or because she wasn't paying attention.
More could be learned when Warner is back in court in person on September 26, when a preliminary hearing takes place. In Russell County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The judge set Warner's bond at $1 million. It appears flu season is getting an early start in Kentucky this year. The Kentucky Department for Public Health says it has received reports of flu cases from Fayette, Jefferson, and Bullitt counties. There are 10 cases so far. Health experts say flu season typically begins in October or November, and they say the last flu season extended well into the spring. Doctors say it's important not to take the flu lightly.
Flu can be deadly. And it is very, very important to get your vaccines and to protect your family members.
Doctors say getting a flu shot as early as possible is your best defense against the flu. They also point out that flu mist will not be available this year because it's been taken off the market.
Enjoy the sunshine now. It looks like rain and even some storms will be heading our way as we get closer to our weekend. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell on board has an early look at the forecast. Jim?
Yeah, once we cross over to the weekend, it's like we just jump right into a pond almost, because we'll have rounds of showers and thunderstorms sweeping through the area around here. So it gets a little more action-packed. So as we look ahead here, we are talking about that rain. Another shot of heat, of course, first getting in here during the day tomorrow. Storms will quickly follow, and then a very wet weekend also kind of unfolds around here. It's 84 in Lexington. Frankfort's up to 85. We're at 86 Somerset and London. That is the coolest they've been in a while because they stayed steady at around 88 degrees. Same thing for Middlesboro. They were at 89 for an extended period of time. Here's what's happening this weekend. A cold front will start sweeping in, but it's not going to be one of those quick hitters. It's going to take its sweet time getting through here, and that means we keep the daily chance of showers and storms around. So the focus of the forecast, widespread weekend rain with that slow-moving front. It's going to keep the rain chances alive. Here's the deal, though. It's not going to rain the whole time. You will catch some breaks, but when it does, you will be miserable. I'll track all of those with the hour-by-hour forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. The Lexington Fire Department has launched new protocols this week to help reduce the risk of firefighters developing cancer. Among those, firefighters will now swap out their dirty hoods for a clean one after fighting a fire. Firefighters wear these hoods under their helmets to help protect their head and face, but the hoods can also trap cancer-causing toxins.
Basically, firefighting is always going to be a nasty, dirty job. We can't take that out of the equation. But, we're trying to, as you're well aware of, we just got the cancer bill approved, and that's basically, we're fighting that unseen enemy that's out there every day.
And we'll show you more steps they've taken to fight that unseen enemy tonight on WKYT News, right after Thursday night football.
Most parents wouldn't dream of calling police to have their child arrested, but it's coming to that for many Kentucky families struggling with drug addiction. Casey's Law, which helps keep people in rehab, has been around for a while, but it's being used more often as more and more people are affected by drugs. WKYT's Miranda Combs introduces us to a family who says the law helped them.
Sometimes looks can be deceiving. In a neighborhood where dogs are about the only break in the quiet, there is a family that's breaking the silence of a painful past.
And it says, "Dad, I'm addicted to heroin. I need help." Yeah, didn't see that coming.
Still bothers you?
Yeah.
Why?
Hurts. I'm sorry.
It's been a long 8 years for the Collinsworths.
The first one was Louisville. I'm trying to remember the
first one was
long-term.
the one in Richmond that we took her down and she left immediately. Remember, we went from there from Georgetown.
I lose
there.
track all.
Their daughter, Lindsay, has been to almost every state-run drug treatment center around.
You always thought they were going to work, or you hoped that they would work.
But Lindsay would never stay.
There's nothing that keeps them in these treatment centers if they don't want to be there.
Pictures sit around the house of family visits.
And this was taken when she was at the facility in Warm.
But each picture wasn't proof of success, but part of the path to a law the Collinsworths believe changed the game and saved their daughter's life.
Sucked. It's not fun. So, but you knew it had to be done.
Rusty Collinsworth signed a petition, a court order, that Lindsay was going to treatment or jail. It's called Casey's Law for involuntary treatment. If a person leaves treatment without the court's consent, a warrant is issued for their arrest. Lindsay left treatment and failed a drug test.
And I said, hey, my daughter's at our house right now, and can you come arrest her for me?
She spent 30 days in the county jail.
If you would have asked me 10 years ago if I would have ever been proactive about putting my child in jail, I would have said, you know, it's crazy.
Casey's Law has been around since 2004. For the Collinsworths, it became their last hope in 2015.
We were convinced we would be burying Lindsay. You know, Rusty and I have talked about plans, you know, actually details where we, I mean, it was.
I even asked Lindsay. I said, what do you want me to put on you? Because it's going to happen.
I was possessed. I feel like I sold my soul to the devil when I was on heroin.
Today, she is 10 months sober.
I wanted to stop, but I was so physically sick that I couldn't.
But her parents could. Her mother remembers waking her up to tell her the police were there to arrest her.
Part of me, though, was glad because I knew that the fight was over. You know, like I knew I wasn't going to have to get high for at least as long as I was in jail.
Casey's Law isn't an easy out for family and friends. The petitioner is responsible for the cost of court fees and treatment, and for finding treatment, which can be challenging. But the alternative, the Collinsworths say, wasn't an option.
Now you're trying to save a life.
You know, you just have to be persistent and become an advocate for your child.
And this was actually the second time the family had tried Casey's Law. They tried it in 2009, but the warrants weren't followed through. They say now, with the emphasis on the drug epidemic, the warrants are taken more seriously. The second time around, they tried last year, and their daughter, as you saw, ended up in jail and when she had left treatment.
Something so many of us can't really imagine, but we know it's happening. This family talked to you a lot about the struggle to even find treatment centers.
Right, and once you do Casey's Law, you're not just turning them over, you're still responsible, and the waits can be up to 6 months, but as the mother said, you have to be an advocate, you have to be persistent, and keep at it.
It may have saved her life.
Yes,
right?
they think it did, yes.
Miranda, thank you.
It's needed some repairs, even though it's not in operation yet. Next, an update on work at a new plant built to destroy weapons at the Bluegrass Army Depot.
And then we'll take you inside a new YMCA in Lexington that will be opening to the public in the coming weeks.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
New tonight, workers say they've nearly finished $15 million worth of repairs at a plant built to destroy chemical weapons at the Bluegrass Army Depot.
The general contractor for the Madison County plant, Bechtel Parsons Bluegrass, says workers have been repairing 4,000 defective piping welds. They should be finished by November. The plant is scheduled to begin destroying weapons in 2020. Depot leaders say the repairs only caused minor delays in that schedule.
Today, we received an early look inside a new YMCA that will open soon in the Hamburg area in Lexington. Construction is nearly finished on the Whitaker Family YMCA at Hamburg Place on Old Rosebud Road. It's named in honor of the family of Elmer Whitaker, the CEO of Whitaker Bank. YMCA leaders say this project has been 10 years in the making, and it has features you won't find at other Ys.
2-story water slide, 3-turn water slide. There's also a smaller slide for the littler kids. Certainly play features in the outdoor spray ground area is an added feature.
The new Y also includes a wellness center, youth development wing, and exercise studios, among other features. It opens on October 23rd.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
We've had a pretty decent day around here. Temperatures got into the mid and upper 80s in most locations out there, but other than that, other than the warmth that shouldn't be here, we should be a little bit cooler this time of year. Not bad at all. We are looking to the outside at some of our Kentucky sky cams, and you'll see Moorhead down to 82, 86 in London. We're even cool here in Lexington now, down to 84 degrees, with all that sun still lingering out there for us. Look at what we have on our Defender radar network. Clouds have been starting to stream in from a dying complex of showers and storms. Died out a lot earlier, but the clouds continue to kind of progress into central Kentucky, and it's even now riding along the Mountain Parkway, getting into eastern Kentucky as well. Looks like basically rolling through the skies of Powell County, going into Wolfe County at this point. The big picture will reveal an area of high pressure sitting to the north, another frontal boundary that's sparking showers and thunderstorms across Minnesota. That is coming our way, and it means business. It means that it's going to sit here, and it's going to rain, and it's going to hang around with us for the entire weekend. It'll get here probably late tomorrow night, at least the leading edge of it, but it won't leave here until probably Sunday night early into your Monday morning. Here's the way that looks with our hour-by-hour run. Model's a little aggressive, trying to paint some rain in here. That's just mainly the cloud cover that we're tracking out there right now. That's the only time I think it missteps, because once we get into Friday morning and into the day on Saturday, or into the afternoon on Friday and into Saturday, I think everything starts coming together like this. Friday evening, isolated chances of showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures are back into the upper 80s, right on the money. That's where we should end up. Now let's advance more so into Friday night, early Saturday morning, and you'll notice a big wave of rain coming through the area. This is at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Showers, maybe even some thunderstorms embedded within that batch. Let's dig deeper, because we have another wave that tries to set up here afternoon and evening time. Now this is getting, the game's already started out of Commonwealth Stadium. It starts at 4. We've got a big swath of rain trying to make a run at us at that point as well. So rain certainly in the area. As for high school football, though, there's a very small chance you run into an isolated shower or a thunderstorm around kickoff tomorrow evening, with temperatures into the low 80s. Small chance of rain at halftime, and I'm talking a very small chance, but overall very quiet as we head through the rest of the evening there. Also, watching the tropics right now, we do have Tropical Storm Julia just off the east coast of North Carolina, South Carolina, winds around 40 miles per hour. The good news about this one, unlike when we were dealing with Hermine, will have no major impact on the folks here in Kentucky. We did see, of course, some stalled out fronts and all kinds of energy with Hermine as we go back a few weeks. Here's our 7-day forecast. It gets a whole lot better after we get out of the weekend. That's unfortunate, but that's the way the plan is rolling out here, guys. Saturday, Sunday both look like soakers, especially Sunday. That front just really going to be pressing through, but once it's gone, it's nice.
Well, we need it, so that's the positive to it.
We do need that rain. You're right. The timing's not ideal, but we do need it.
Sure. Thank you.
Some big-time college games coming up this Saturday, Rob.
That is for sure. Among them is Florida State Louisville. We'll hear from Bobby Petrino and Mark Stoops with a serious tone coming off the practice field within the last hour. That's up next in sports. Mark Stoops making his final comments before his team returns home to play New Mexico State Saturday. The Cats desperately in need of improved play and a victory. Kentucky's a 3-touchdown favorite over the Aggies. Stoops talked briefly after practice and appeared stern and urgent.
I said early in the week, you can't beat anybody until you stop beating yourself, and that's what we've concentrated on. We've had a good week of practice and looking forward to putting the finishing touches on it tomorrow and getting out there Saturday. So we really need to get back on the field and get the bad taste out of our mouth.
So Stoops and his team going for that first win Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock kickoff on the SEC Network alternate channel. In Lexington, that's channel 518 on Time Warner. One of the great traditions in college football in this state is the singing of Cabin on the Hill after an EKU win. Coach Mark Elder was able to sing it for the first time last Thursday night. The Colonels gave Elder his first win as head coach, defeating Pikeville Thursday. This weekend, it's off to Muncie, Indiana, Ball State. Elder said his team is prepared to sing it again Saturday.
It was great, and we practiced it twice. In the spring, we came in and sang Cabin on the Hill after the spring game, and then we had what we call Beanie Bowl, like a mock game at the end of camp. We prepared for that. During camp, in one of our team meetings, we had them all learn the song and sing it and had a couple go-rounds with it, so we'd be ready.
Click on ESPN 3 o'clock Saturday. The Colonels up at Ball State. EKU is 3-0 all-time against the Cardinals. 10th-ranked Louisville and 2nd-ranked Florida State coming in this weekend. The Cards are a 1-point underdog, with Lamar Jackson leading the way. Louisville has easily won its first 2 over Charlotte and Syracuse. So far, it's been fun for Bobby Petrino and his team.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. It's fun to go out there and our guys take the field and expect to score, you know, and we do know this is going to be a much better defense. They're very strong in the front. They're very good in the secondary. So, you know, I think it's exciting for us to step up to this challenge and go out there and maintain our expectations.
And the Bengals travel to the Steel City to meet the Steelers this weekend as the rivalry picks up where it left off last year. The Steelers have had the Bengals number over the last several years, but the names on these rosters do not change much.
They've got that type of continuity in their group over there, and I think that's one of the things that drives this rivalry is that they've got continuity, we've got continuity, and that familiarity creates awesome matchups and games. And so we're excited about preparing for this one.
And right here we have Thursday night football tonight. Jets against the Bills, 8 o'clock. Sam Amber, back to you.
Thank you, Rob. Final check of your first look forecast with Jim is next.
And then on the CBS Evening News, a new CBS News poll is out tonight in the race for the White House. A closer look at the numbers and the latest from the campaign trail.
For more local news and perspective on the day's events, join Jennifer Palumbo and me for WKYT News at 6:30 on the CW in Lexington. Jim Caldwell will join us tonight along with Dave Buzz Baker and his one-of-a-kind, and I do mean, one-of-a-kind take on sports, as you all know.
That's a great way to put it right there. Jim, we've been talking about a lot of rain coming our way very soon.
Very soon. Not today, but once we cross over into the weekend, that's when the chances really increase. Most of us tomorrow are going to stay on the dry side. An isolated chance. Can't rule out tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, but better chances into the weekend.
And a welcome back to our partner and buddy, Rob Brumley.
Thank you so much. Good to be back, and certainly thanks to Brian and Lee Kay for filling.
We'll see you later tonight.